Hello and welcome to EB-5 Investment Report. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and today we are joined by Rick Gibbs, Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Murrieta, California. As a council person, a part of Gibbs' responsibility is to help guide and encourage economic growth and new investments for the City of Murrieta. Recently, Murrieta has become proactive toward the EB-5 program and is home to several successful EB-5 projects in the region. Rick, can you tell me how and why Murrieta got involved with the EB-5 program?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2007, the City Council had approved a number of projects. Most of those projects had funding that was committed. With the recession that began somewhere between then and 2008, the funding dried up. The projects languished for several years, and then we thought, this is ridiculous. We have to see if we can be proactive and help our business owners and our projects get funding. We've discovered, after doing a little bit of research, the EB-5 program, and it seemed like this was a natural match for finding financing.
So can you tell me about the role Murrieta plays in finding projects and encouraging the program?
We're an extremely proactive pro-business city. We hired an economic development director in 2007. So the gentleman that we hired has been extremely proactive. He will bring us businesses that would contemplate moving to the city of Murrieta. We try and convince those folks that in the city of Murrieta, we will reach out and do whatever it takes to get their business and to help them be successful. Part of that in this economy is looking for funding, and that's why we have turned to EB-5 financing.
So a couple of Murrieta's successful EB-5 projects include the development of a $14 million olive-wood retail plaza and the Murrieta Educational Center. Can you tell me a little more about those projects?
The shopping center that was going up across the street from Murrieta City Hall, it's about 98–99% complete right now. For the 3 or so years that it languished while waiting for funding, we got engaged. We contacted a regional center in Irvine, California. We worked closely with them and with the property developer. We were able to put together essentially the pro formas that could be taken to investors throughout the world. And at the request of the regional center in Irvine, we said we were prepared to accompany them on trips as necessary.
What is that regional center in Irvine? Was that American Redevelopment Solutions?
Yes, it was.
And how do you work with them? What type of relationship do you have with that regional center?
Well, for instance would be that American Redevelopment Solutions asked if I could accompany them to the People's Republic of China for a briefing presentation tour to investor groups in different cities in trying to secure money for the Murrieta Education Center. That trip was about roughly 2 weeks in duration, and we made presentations in 4 different cities to investor groups that range from anywhere from 25 to over 100 people.
So what was the result of that trip? Did you actually get investors here?
We had a number of investors who signed up on the spot. That's not the norm. Usually the investors want to do a little bit more research and sign up afterwards. So the money has been trickling in for the last year.
How did you get them to sign on the spot?
The thing I think you need to understand about EB-5 is most of the people in countries around the world who have, in our case, $500,000 to come up with, they generally aren't really looking to reside in the United States permanently. What they're looking for is the opportunity to be able to have their family come to the United States and their kids get a university education in the United States. So for them, in many respects, it's an easy sale because this is much less an investment in a particular project, more an investment in education for their families.
And what about the investors that didn't sign on the spot? What's going to happen with them? Are they still planning on investing in the regional center project?
The investors that didn't sign on the dotted line are the ones who really are interested in a return on investment. In this case, they will be looking at the documentation provided by the regional center. When the regional center comes back to the United States after a trip, they have their associates in China who continue to provide documentation to the potential investors.
So what kinds of other EB-5 projects are you looking for or plan to develop?
EB-5 has a pretty wide focus. So you want to pick a project that would have some chance of tweaking an investor's curiosity. Is this a project that's good for me? In many respects, if you look at the nation that you're in and kind of analyze the situation there, one of the things that becomes obvious even to a nation like China, which of course has got a pretty well-developed infrastructure, is that there are some things that they need. For instance, would be medical technology. Recently at the US-China Business Summit, I gave a very short speech from the stage, and some people came up to me and said, "We think we know the hospitals that you were talking about." And I didn't mention any hospitals by name. And they said, "Would you be interested in us providing some investment capital to some of your hospitals?" And I said, "Certainly." So we've since then contacted the hospitals, because the amount of money that we're talking about is much greater than the normal EB-5 project. What I was asked is, how much money do you think the hospital could use? And I said, I don't really know off the top of my head, but let me give you an estimate, and the estimate would be in the range of $200 million. And what I was told by these investors, well, we can do that. So, but of course the trick is, with the EB-5 program, you have to provide 10 jobs per investor. Mm-hmm. So when you talk in very large denominations like that, that's a tremendous amount of jobs. So we're still looking for the right fit and the right project, but I think the sky's the limit in terms of bringing investment capital to the United States and providing jobs for U.S. citizens.
Are you seeking funding from other countries besides China?
Certainly. A friend of mine does business in the Middle East, and he's currently working in Saudi Arabia. And he said, "Why don't you take EB-5 money from Saudi?" And I said, "We would be very happy to." He said, "Do I have your permission when I'm back in Saudi Arabia to put some of my associates over there in contact with you?" I said, "Absolutely."
Rick, can you tell me what other regional centers you're involved with?
Well, we've been involved with American Redevelopment Solutions Center for about 2 years. We have another regional center that is located in Murrieta, and that's Continental Redevelopment Solutions. And the Continental folks have been very good at bringing investment from places like Vietnam. We are hoping that as we move forward, that we will be able to engage in more projects with Continental, since they're a local group.
Can you tell me more about the Olivewood Retail Plaza?
The Olivewood Retail Plaza is literally a stone's throw from City Hall. It's right across the street. This project, which is totally funded by EB-5 investment, is somewhere around 98-99% complete. It will be open within the month. And one of the tenants over there is a specialty market, sort of like a Henry's or a Sprouts. And at that specialty market, they have already hired 56 employees from around the city of Murrieta.
Oh, wow, that's great. Thank you so much, Rick. Located in southwestern Riverside County, Murrieta is developing relationships with China and other countries to help bring foreign investment into the U.S. economy and create jobs within the community through EB-5 regional programs and foreign trade. Just some of their EB-5 projects include the Olivewood Retail Plaza, Murrieta Educational Center, Antelope Square, and the new Continental Regional Medical Center. For more information on the City of Murrieta, simply click on the icon to your right. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and I want to thank you for watching this edition of EB-5 Investment Report.